welcome to the Fables Knitting Podcast. My name is Faith and I'm a knitter living here in Kansas, and this is my space where I talk all about my knitting. Today I have a traditional podcast. I have 2 finished objects and I'm sharing a couple of whips, and I'll have some new cast ons that I'll be sharing with you. If you hear any background noise, that is my cat Terry. She was just taking a nap and then I started to get all my stuff out and now she wants to play. So you might hear her playing in the background. I apologize if it's distracting. The AC will also be coming on at some point. So I apologize if you also hear that in the background. Yeah. I'm wearing my pastel sweater that I test knitted for Gregoria Fibers. I'm only wearing it indoors. I'm only wearing it indoors because it is too hot to wear it outside. And I just wanted to wear it with this black skirt that I have. So, yeah. It's this boat neck style sweater with this cable detail around the neck. And the yarn I used is Lion Brand Woolies in the color Wheat. So yeah, let's just get right into it. So my first finished object is my Afra Sweater by Irene Lynn. I finally finished it. It's been a while since I've talked about it, but I started this October 23rd in 2023, and I finished it July 8th of this year. And I knit the size 4. I'll put more details on the side, what the bust circumference is, what yarn I used, and how much it all cost. I knit all of it on a 3.75 millimeter needle. I used 1,345 yards or 301 grams. And the yarn I used is Mountain Meadow wool. Their Saratoga base, which is just 100% merino fingering in the color grass. It is a hand-dyed yarn, and it's all the same dye lot, supposedly. But as you can see, there's color blocks in here, especially on the sleeve. I don't care. This sweater has been on my needles for too long for me to care about what color it is and that it's not all technically the same color. But I'm so happy that I finished it. I get to wear it. Jenny also from Honeybird Studio, she also has this sweater and she knit it in the same yarn, but it's in a pink color. So we have matching sweaters. But yeah, I'll put in a clip of me wearing it. The sweater is pretty fun to knit. It's just all the twisted ribbing when you get to the sleeve. It kind of takes a while to get through, since it is a wider circumference because of the balloon sleeve. It takes a while. But it's a saddle shoulder construction, but you increase on both sides of the work. I'm not a fan of that, but it looks really nice. And the neck is finished with an I-cord. So yeah, I would recommend this pattern. It's very beautiful, and the lace at the bottom is really easy and fun, and the lace on the sleeves are also, it's pretty intuitive. But yeah, this sweater, so fun to knit. I wish that it didn't take me so long to make it. But no, I'm happy that I have it as a finished object and I get to wear it now because I talked about it on the podcast and I'm going to be getting some pictures of it today. So yes, that is the Afra Sweater by Irene Lynn. Also, this yarn feels really dry when you knit with it, but when you block it, it softens up a lot, and I think the stitches look nicer after it's blocked. Because while knitting it, I was a little worried that the stitches would look weird even after blocking it, but it really softened up and the stitches relaxed, and it's just a really nice fabric. So I would recommend this yarn, maybe not for a sweater since the colors vary a lot, even in the same dye lot, but it's still a good yarn to work with. And my next finished object is my Moonset Tee by Ozetta. This is done as well, obviously. I started this March 11th of this year and I finished it on July 14th. I knit the medium size. With the Afra Sweater, I'll also put, as I did with the Afra Sweater, I'll also put sizing, what the bust circumference is, how much it cost, all of that on the side over here. And I'll also put in a clip of me wearing it so you can see how it looks on me. I was a couple of stitches off gauge, so it's a little smaller than it should be. I haven't like officially tried it on yet. I used a 3.25 millimeter needle and I used 1008 yards or 252 grams. So I used a little less than half of the third skein. So yeah, I knit as the pattern specified to 12 inches measured under the arm. It's kind of cropped on me. For a full length sweater I need 14 inches. So I'll be able to wear this with high-waisted pants or a skirt or maybe even a dress too. I want to knit more of these. They're so fun to make, and it's a really good mindless project because the body does take a while to get through. So if you have a couple of fingering weight skeins that you're not quite sure what to do with, I would totally recommend doing a Moonset Tee. The yarn I used is Knotty Pine Fiber Co. Bighorn Sock, which is an 80/20 2-ply merino nylon. And it's in the color Whiskey River, which is this really pretty bronze yellow color. I really love the color of this. And I'm also just so happy that it's done. And this is my first time using Knotty Pine Fiber. I think a lot of people really like her yarn because she has a lot of really good neutral colors. And her tonals are just also really good. Like, I don't think you can, like, I did not alternate skeins at all, and I don't even think that you can tell because it all just looks like one color. So yeah, I would highly recommend using her yarn. Okay, and now for my whips. I don't have as many to show you this time. If you watched my vlog, I believe I may have said that when I come home from work, I get home around 7. I usually try to be in bed by 10 so I can get enough sleep by the time I have to go back to work. So I only get about 2 rows of knitting done on any project that I choose to work on because I also have to eat dinner and stuff like that. So I can't work on certain projects very much. And I also have a couple of projects that are just stockinette in the round, and I don't think I need to show an inch of progress on my stockinette sweaters. So I'm just showing the ones that are worth mentioning that I've gotten some progress on. So I hope that's okay. Yeah. So this is the Woodstone Wrap by Jenny Gillard from Honeybird Studio. I've knit this before in an acrylic yarn, but I've been wanting a wool version and one that I can kind of wear every day. So here's my progress keeper from last time, and that's how much I've gotten done. I started this June 1st for the Honeybird Shawl Cal that a couple of my friends are hosting on Instagram. The knit along goes until September, and it's just knitting any one of Jenny Gillard's shawls on Ravelry. So yeah, I'm using a 4.5 millimeter needle, and the yarn I'm using is, I love this wool in the color Cocoa. So yeah, this project is so much fun to knit. I'm almost at the halfway mark, I think, from what I remember at least. So yeah, I can't wait to block this. I know the yarn will stretch out more and it won't be as stiff as it is now. So yeah, I just can't wait for this to be done. I have my camisole number 8 by My Favorite Things Knitwear to show. I started this July 2nd and I'm in the middle of a row, so I'm sorry. I'm knitting the size large. I wish I wasn't in the middle of the row so I could show this to you easier. I'm using a 3 millimeter needle, and the yarn I'm using is Kathmandu Queensland Collection Kathmandu Fingering in the color Iris. It's this really pretty slightly tweed yarn, and I just love this color. And this is how far I've gotten. I'm working on the front. Oops. I'm working on the front. This is my progress keeper from last time. You start out at the left shoulder and then you do some increases and then you cast on the right strap. And that's pretty much all I've gotten done. I really like the increases, how that looks. So yeah, I think I just have a couple more. I don't think I'm remembering this right. I think I have like this last cable row to do, and then I'm doing some armhole increases, and then I'll be moving on to the back. I think. So yeah, this is so much fun to work on. The pattern's pretty straightforward. And I can't wait for this to be done. I can't wait to see how this color will look on me. And I'm excited to see how it fits. I'm having some doubts right now because it does look pretty small, but I do know cables like stretch quite a lot because it's pretty much a rib, but I don't know. So I can't wait to cast on the back and join it in the round, and then I can try it on and see, and try to get an idea of what it's gonna look like on me. I have 2 new cast-ons to show. I have the Afra Sweater by Petite Knit. I started this July 14th and I'm knitting the extra large size. I talked in my vlog that I've been having to go up sizes and patterns because my bust has been getting bigger, which kind of makes me worried because some of my other sweaters aren't starting to fit me anymore. They're getting to be a little too tight, which makes me sad, but what can you do? I'm using a 5 millimeter needle, and the yarn I'm using is Lion brand Fisherman's wool in the color Birch Tweed. And I can't wait for this to be done. I should not be knitting with wool. I shouldn't be knitting a wool sweater with a turtleneck, but I think this will be done in time for fall. This is 2 days of work, so I think it might be done even sooner than that. But yeah, that's the Afra Sweater by Petite Knit. It kind of is blending in with the sweater I'm wearing right now. But no, I've knit the sweater so many times, so it's good to have a relatively mindless sweater. I mean, now I'm knitting in the round, so this is my first skein, and I'm worried that I won't have enough yarn to get to a decent length on the body because the other Afra sweater I have is really cropped on me. I knit it to the measurements specified in the pattern, and it barely goes, like it barely comes under my belly button, and I'm tall, so I need longer sweaters. So I'm thinking when I finish this, I'll go ahead and do a sleeve, the collar, and then the other sleeve, and then with the rest I'm gonna put in the body. So yeah, hopefully I'll have enough yarn for this. New cast on that I have to show is a Cumulus blouse, also by Petite Knit. I'm sorry if you're a Petite Knit hater and you don't like seeing all my Petite Knit patterns, but I don't really care. I'm in the middle of a row. But this is what I have so far. This is one day of work. I started this July 16th. I'm knitting size large on a 4.5mm needle, and the yarn I'm using is a yarn that I've had for a while. I've had it for a year now. I bought it last year when I was living in Wyoming, and I was knitting the cardigan number 6 by My Favorite Things Knitwear, and I messed up and I just ended up ripping it out. So now I'm just knitting a Cumulus blouse with it. This is the color 34, I believe, which I believe is called Sage Green or something like that. Most of these balls don't have the tag on them still because they just fell off. So I'm not 100% sure what the color is. I'll have to see if any of the other skeins that I have a tag on them, and I can update the color. But yeah, this is really fun to knit. I think I'm a little bit allergic to it because every time, well, I worked on it for one day and I was sneezing and really congested for 2 days after working on this, and now I'm fine. So I don't know. But it's really fluffy. I know it's probably gonna be a little bit scratchy, but it'll be a nice layering piece, so I'm not too worried about that. So now that we're done with whips, I don't have anything else to talk about. I haven't bought any yarn. In my vlog, I was rethinking some of my knitting plans. I'm going to be starting some gift knits soon. I was originally going to start them in August, but I think I'm just going to cast on one this month, and then starting in August I'm going to have 2 gift knits on the needles until I finish everything on my list, and then I can go back to incorporating more selfish knits into my project rotation. I did get accepted into another test knit. It is the Blue Water Sweater by Tressa Weidenar. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you may know that I knit the Blue Water wrap. It has the same motif for the yoke of the sweater, and then it's also on the hem. So I'll be casting that on shortly. It's due September 20th, so I'm delaying just a little bit. So yeah, I'm really excited to cast that on. I can't wait to have a sweater version of that texture. So that is all I have to talk about. Thank you so much for joining me. Next week I'm planning on doing a knit and chat, so leave any topics that you would like me to discuss for next week's video. Sometimes I have a hard time picking what to talk about in those, so if you have any suggestions, please leave them down below. I'd really appreciate it. You can find me on Instagram as the.redhead.knits, and my Ravelry is Knits by Faith. Everything that I've talked about will be linked down below. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.